Bhonsle is a film about the struggle of a policeman who's aging and who's struggling against a disease, and somebody who's completely lonely in his life. There is nobody that he can call his own. And it's a film about one person's uh, aging person's obsession with uh, with his duty, which he doesn't want to let it go, but which goes finally, but he doesn't have any purpose left in his life. And then how he finds a purpose when his body is giving way, when his age is not supporting him, and how he finds a purpose to hang on to life, hang on to something which is very dear to him. It's a story of a city which is completely in turmoil, where the immigrants are no more welcomed by the locals, and it's a story of a child who is getting sucked into the 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 whole turmoil that city is facing. It's a story for everybody who is living in urban life. It's a story of a girl who is trying to find a life in a big city.
Not just a story for me, it was a catharsis at many levels. One, the character of a 60-year-old man who is alone, doesn't have anyone to reach out to, doesn't have really anything to live for outside of his work, is inspired by my father. My father, who's now 76, stays in Calcutta alone, and he was a sari seller and worked in his shop 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and didn't have anything to live for outside of his work. And the day I saw his shop being taken away from him was when I had the idea for a story of a 60-year-old policeman whose duty gets taken away from him, and how he now has to find a new reason to live. The one question then I'll ask you, Piyush, is why the co-production market?
More than financial partners, we are looking for partners from across the world, because Bhonsle is a film and a script which needs to be told, distributed, seen by world audience, because it raises an issue of immigration and the sectarian politics.
Especially now, in the last 1 or 2 years, with every country from Syria onwards, the one thing that's really plaguing the world today is not just literally the immigrant problem, but this questioning of where do we belong?
Correct.
Where does my boundary end and where does yours begin? Like,
Right.
You might have a different idea of this boundary, I might have a different idea. Conflict. And the heart of this film questions that concept of the person who belongs and the person who is a migrant.
Correct.
Who decides that?
What is the mood and the space in which the film is?
So Bhonsle, one, he's a Ganpati Bhakt. So the story is set in those 14 days, 4 days leading up to the 10 days of the Ganpati celebration, and the 10 days of Ganpati celebrations, that in which this city becomes this monstrous mess of noise, because there's so much sound that you start feeling alone. And that's something that I wanted to use in a very ironic manner to let us see Bhonsle's isolation world.
And I remember you insisted upon shooting it during the monsoon.
So even the dampness and the decay around him is reflective of the decay of his soul. And even the film is set, 90% of the film is set at night, and night is the time when Bhonsle, when he was a policeman, he used to be on the night duty, because he didn't know how to navigate people, he didn't know how to talk to people. So at night he could come to terms with the city because there are less people around, and at night most people in the city go to sleep. So there's again that sense of isolation and a sense of just general nothingness.